What's up guys, TristanDuboisOLG here with another Destiny video, and today what we're doing is I'm going to continue on my Breaking Out of the Map series where I'm trying to get to these compass rose type designs that are kind of sitting on the outside of the map, and I've kind of noticed that these are part of DLCs, so this is probably not going to be part of the House of Wolves. This will probably be part of the Comet DLC that should be coming out sometime after the House of Wolves, so we'll see how that goes, but until then I'm just going to show you guys how to get into the Cortex, which is our destination for today. So where we're going to end up going is to the Buried City, which if you spawn in on Mars on patrol, it's over on the left side. And if you've ever seen the Cortex pop up in your bottom left, you'll know that it's actually at the top of the buried tower that you have to go to in the Buried City mission for the regular campaign. And it's kind of interesting to get in here. You'll just really have to pay attention to some of these steps because at one point in time, trying to get one of the loading zones to actually load you into the new area, you can end up really just messing up and having to run all the way out of the building and start over from scratch. So me being a hunter, I've got to make this really long jump, so I just spend a second to get my super up here. And then the next thing you're going to do is summon your vehicle right into this little slope, jump off it immediately, and then there's a ledge that hangs down underneath this building. Now this is where you have to use the super. I've made it without the super before. It's a little bit of a stretch sometimes, but just in case, use the super to get over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have to hit a series of loading zones. There's actually about, I want to say 3 of them coming up here to get over to the Cortex itself. So just follow these directions and you should be able to hit each one of them sequentially. Otherwise, you're just going to jump at a texture and it's not really going to have a hitbox. You'll just fall right through and yeah, die. So anyways, jump up on here. This is the first loading zone, and in order to get over onto the floating building on our right, we're going to have to jump up on top of this elevator shaft building complex thing and just aim right over at this sand wall. Now the interesting thing about this DLC or the area that we're trying to get into is you can actually kind of see it from the outside without even being inside this building, and it's just really a pain in the butt to get to for how close you actually are to it. But anyways, this is where we're going to have to hit the next loading zone. It's actually up on top of this little structure here. This is the pain in the butt. If you don't do this right, you can have to go all the way back outside, all the way through all these jumps again. And it's actually right below like the height that you can't jump over. It's a pain. But anyways, just make sure you don't die in any of these little out of bounds areas and go up here. And I've noticed once you hit your turn back zone, go over to the left, you should hit the loading zone and you'll kind of spawn halfway in a wall. If you go too far into that area, you'll actually spawn on the other side of that wall, which is a darkness zone where enemies spawn. You can't get out of it, so you'll have to go to orbit or kill yourself several times until you spawn backwards at one of your last checkpoints for your character. So once you jump up there, navigate your way up on top of that building, or up on top of that structure, and jump out onto this bridge. Now this is where you're going to hit your next loading zone. This is the final loading zone you have to hit, which is actually the Cortex. This area is filled with height barriers, invisible walls, all kinds of junk. So you're going to have to go underneath to this ledge here, and jump around the corner onto this ledge here. Now we have to jump up. In this very small ledge you can slip off of, so just make sure you hit it once and then try and jump higher. And yeah. So it took me a little while to figure out where I'd gone previously, so I cut the video here, but we're going to actually have to go underneath the map. So jump down here, jump off to your left, onto this little sand thing that's sticking out, and then you can just jump around this, onto this ledge, and then jump onto the exterior portion of the building. This actually has a hitbox because it's on the outside and wraps around like a wall. And all you have to do is run over to this this little round tank column thing. There's an invisible wall right in front of you. You can't jump over it, so we're actually going to fall off the wall and land on top of this strut here. And from here, you're underneath that wall that you couldn't jump over. As you can see, it's kind of a little weird. And now if we look around, you can see there's another ledge on the outside of the building you can actually jump to. And you're sitting just below the map. So just jumping up real quick, you can get into the Cortex. This is actually the playable area on the map. Now, like I said, I wasn't sure if this was going to be part of the DLC that was going to come out, the Comet DLC. I think, and I want to say that I'm correct on this, I might be wrong, but I've seen people doing this. This is like a strike on PlayStation, and yeah, so this isn't out for Xbox 360 yet. But it's kind of interesting. It looks like the Cabal have this this Cortex, which would be like a center part, like a processor almost for a computer, and they're trying to steal it, or they're trying to take it. If you run around here, there's no ghosts because it is a strike, but looking around, you can definitely see that there's room for them to be a lot of enemies, and actually this is the door you come out of to get back into the area. But I was really excited. I thought there'd be some ghosts in here, but there's honestly not. Unless I did miss one, which if you do know that there is one in the strike, just let me know. But in general, there are not any ghosts inside of strike missions. And as you can see, if you look around, these are actually the other towers and buildings you can get into during the regular story missions. But the Cortex that I was talking about is actually sitting out here on this little helipad thing. And it's over here on the left. As you can see, it's kind of sitting on one of these little, it looks like a pallet mover, I guess, and I think there's going to be like a ship coming in. You don't have to like defend it and keep anyone from getting it. But anyways, this is how you jump into the Cortex. If you liked the video, please leave a like. I work hard on my videos, and keep an eye out for the next one.